Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options to Play video update. We have definitely had a good stretch of earnings, just in terms of scheduled. Right? We've had a lot of big names, pretty consistently busy for a while now. But we're going to hit a little bit of quiet stretch just in terms of schedule news. I mean, volatility is still high, obviously, across the market, but in terms of scheduled news like earnings, it's definitely going to slow down a bit. This week, like a handful of names are only on the calendar, and of those, there's only a few that are even really of any interest, right? So you'll definitely notice that when I go through this week that there's just really not much. That'll pick up towards the end of the month, but for right now, kind of a little bit of like a lull in terms of like earnings. So definitely something to take into account when you're like planning for the week ahead, that maybe want to start shifting your focus to things a couple of weeks out, or maybe like look at some more swing trades. All right. So before the open on Monday, nothing. After the close on Monday, Lennar. So it's about 675 is what's priced in. Home building numbers have just been fantastic this quarter. Imagine Lennar probably pretty good too. Stock has held in well during the recent selling, right? And it's really only very marginally off its high. I will say that if I had to guess, expectations are probably pretty high on this just because all of its peers absolutely crushed it. But maybe there's still some room for upside. You know, if it can put together a good print, get up through 80, maybe you get a little bit of a breakout. But at 675, it's going to have to be a pretty big move. So, you know, weighing the risk versus the reward and versus like the high expectations, right? So kind of like a tougher call. Before the open on Tuesday, Cracker Barrel. So about 9 points is what's priced in on this. I'd say, generally speaking, Cracker Barrel is one of the tougher restaurant names to trade around earnings. Not really a consistent mover, and actually, prior to March, I mean, it really hadn't done much of anything for years. Right? If I do like a weekly chart, you can see it really had not done much of anything at all. So I don't know what to expect for this. It may be just smarter if I just avoid it, just because I don't have a great read on it. Not consistent, and option pricing is also not too cheap. All right, after the bell on Tuesday is really it for the day. I mean, like, or for the week. I mean, like, this is like the main event. You have Adobe, so they're looking for about 37 points, give or take, on this. The thing with Adobe is that it's typically pretty solid. I mean, the numbers have for the past couple of years been just really solid prints, almost kind of like a Salesforce type name, right? So it's like beat and raise, beat and raise, beat and raise. Now I don't know how to really view Adobe after what's taken place the last couple of weeks and a lot of like the momentum tech software names, right? Because Adobe ripped after Salesforce in anticipation of good earnings, and it's reversed all the way back down. A lot of the sectors lost momentum. And while it's definitely a little bit better set up from a bull perspective than where it was up above 530, 540, also what you're noticing is that these patterns aren't really getting rewarded right now. And Adobe priced in 37. Those options certainly aren't cheap. So I feel like this is going to be this is a little bit tougher for like a near-term trade, but it could be one that maybe sets up better for, say, like a calendar strategy or some sort of longer-term position. Say, like if the numbers are good, maintains the uptrend, maybe it starts to work its way higher once the sector improves. But in terms of an actual earnings trade, it just seems a little bit tougher because these patterns haven't been getting rewarded. Options are expensive. Also, expectations are still pretty high. All right. Speaking of high expectations, FedEx, about 23 points is what's priced in here. I mean, this basically hasn't had a downtick since it last reported, just straight up. Not to mention it has had a huge rally after UPS had a blowout report, so it's just kept going and going and going. I would say expectations are very, 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 very high on FedEx going into earnings. It's literally at its 52-week high. So, I mean, I do imagine it's going to be good because last quarter was good. UPS just destroyed estimates. So I feel like FedEx will be good. It's just how high is the bar, and if it's only if it's only very good and not a complete and utter blowout, does that mean the stock is going to reverse and sell off, right? So it's kind of hard to gauge what the expectations are on a stock like this that has just literally not stopped running for like the past 2 months. So definitely a name I'm going to be looking at, but I don't know if I'm going to play it because of how far it's run. Maybe if it pauses the next few days, I can take a look. Otherwise, this might be another one I avoid. Maybe I can revisit it for a swing trade right after the numbers come out and the options come back down to earth. And I mean that's actually it, because really nothing of interest Wednesday before the open, nothing of interest Wednesday after the close, or Thursday for that matter, and then Thursday after the close and Thursday and Friday morning there's actually nothing scheduled. So that's it. So 4 names, 4 big names, well 3 big names, and then Cracker Barrel. So maybe we'll get some action, but again, definitely a little bit slower from a scheduled news perspective. So if you like this video and you're looking for more information on earnings trading or more information on option swing trades, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options to play. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Stay well, and I will talk to you on Monday.